All right, y'all. Today I want to talk about entering trades in the middle of a trend. Okay, what I mean by that is we're going to be looking at if we're in, let's say, a downtrend right here. If you missed the beginning of the move, how are you going to find a good entry on the way down? Many of you who follow me and follow my channel, you guys know that my preferred style of trading is looking for the pivots, looking for the bounces, right? Like this bounce that we got right here off $33.3 thousand. This was a bounce that I've been waiting for. In my Discord last night, I posted, one of the trades that I'm actually looking for is a bounce off of that $33.3 thousand level. You could see here on my chart, I had it marked out. One of my potential long entries in the near future last night was that bounce right there. Of course, we got the bounce, and that's just what I like to trade, right? A lot of my trades, my last two Ethereum trades, were bounces, right? Look, we come to the bottom, and we get the bounce like that. These are the types of trades I usually like to enter. This trade right here, again, we come to the bottom, we get the bounce. Those are nice trades. But a lot of people are like, hey Jay, like I missed the bottom, I missed the top. How can I get in if the move is already happening? So today I want to talk about that. Usually I go through finding the reversals. Today we're going to talk about catching the trend. We're going to talk about entries. We're going to talk about take profit levels. And we're going to talk about where to put your stop loss. Now there's a trade that I took yesterday. Let's see, where was that trade? Took it yesterday. It was a short. It was a short in the middle of the trend, right here. Okay, shorted right here at about $36,579 and rode that thing all the way down, about $1,500 to $35K. You can see this is the entry right here. Posted this trade before I even entered it, and we rode it down. We hit all three take profits and then some, right? And then some. We came all the way down to 35K, where we actually then entered a long position, right? We shorted it down, and then we took the long position right here from 35K, and that thing hit two take profits. That trade hit two take profits. So it was a good trade. It was a good long and a good short. So we're going to be talking about how are we going to be finding those trades where we're in the middle of a move. Okay, so I want to go back in time and take a look at the short that we entered right here. But I want to show you guys another short entry, because there's good entries, there's okay entries, and then there's risky entries. We're going to go through all three of that. But first of all, guys, if you do want to join the private Discord, you can do that by becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/Jason Casper. And also, guys, if you want to learn how to do technical analysis, if you're new to trading and you're feeling lost and you're feeling like you need some direction, you need some clear step-by-step direction to show you, basically walk you through the process of becoming a confident trader with a strategy that you know works, that you can test, so that you're not like a sailboat being tossed to and fro by every wind and every wave, check out jasoncaspertrading.com. This course will give you the knowledge and the skills you need to become a confident, profitable trader. And in this course, you can check out the testimonials here. This has literally changed people's lives. Seriously, I mean, I get messages every day from people who say this course has really changed their lives and changed the way they trade, where they're actually able to be profitable. We go through everything you need to know about technical analysis, Fibonacci, volume, trend lines, channels, moving averages, finding confluence, Fibonacci extensions, and retracements and patterns and all these things. We go through Market Cipher, how I use Market Cipher to really find those perfect entries. And then we go through different trading strategies that you can use right out of the box to start winning trades, as well as how to develop your own strategy that you can test so that you can have confidence. Doesn't matter what anybody else is doing, you can have your own plan. Mindset, risk management. Check it out. There's a discount in the description of the video. I think it's a pretty good deal, guys. I think it's a pretty good deal. Of course I would say that, right? It's my own course. But here's what we're going to do if we want to catch the middle of a move, right? Let's say, for example, that we wanted to short, and we missed the top up here, okay? We missed the top up here, and we're coming down, coming down, coming down. How are we going to find a good entry? Well, it's important that the first thing we do is we have on our chart support and resistance levels marked out. Now, if you're a follower of this channel, you know I love support and resistance, and the reason is because if you know how to mark support and resistance levels on your chart, then you have a framework, okay? You have a reference point from which to trade. If I take these lines off, I have no reference point. I'm just looking at a random chart. There's no reference point. But if I'm able to mark these lines on the chart, look at how these lines are so well respected by the price, right? We come down to this line and we get a perfect bounce off of it. We came down to this line and we got a perfect bounce off of it, okay? We were able to predict these bounces before they happened because we had these levels marked on our chart, right? When we go to the Discord in here, okay, the reason why last night I was able to say I'm looking for a bounce off $33.3 thousand is because I had this level marked out on my chart at $33.3 thousand before price even got down there, right? Before price got down there, I had that level marked. So I already had a level that I was looking at, okay? And so same goes for this level right here at $34,981 thousand. This is a level that I have been watching for a long time. In fact, I did a live stream on Friday where I was basically waiting for price to come down here. It didn't come down here on stream, but you know, when it finally did come down there, we were able to catch the bounce because we were waiting for that level. And then we got other confirmations on Market Cipher and stuff like that. So if we have these levels marked out, not only can we catch bounces off of these levels, but let's say we're in the middle of a move. When price comes to one of these levels in the middle of a move, it can also offer us an opportunity to catch a trade in the middle of a move. For example, right here, we can see that price comes up to our level, and we don't reject off of it. In fact, we keep on going, and we could have absolutely caught another almost 5% just by keeping an eye on this level and longing when price came above it. And same with this line when price falls below it, right? If we miss the exact top, well, when price falls below our level and then gets a rejection off of it again, we can short in the middle of the level again when we come down here. This is a trade I actually took. We lose the level, we get a retest, we come back down. So the first thing we're going to do if we're trying to catch a move in the trend is have our levels of support and resistance marked out on the chart. And again, if you don't know how to do this, check out jasoncaspertrading.com. The first, I think, 5 videos go over support and resistance and how to obtain these levels. Okay, so I like to ask myself questions, okay, questions, as I'm going through these 3 confirmations, okay. When I, so confirmation number 1 is support and resistance. We need to wait for price to come to one of our levels. If price is not at one of our levels, we should be hesitant to enter a trade. I don't like to enter a trade unless price is interacting with one of my levels. So we ask ourselves this question: is price at one of my levels? Question mark. Okay? And so we're gonna answer that. A, multiple choice. A, yep. B, nup. Not. Okay? If the answer is A, yop, okay? Yop and nop. If the answer is yop, then we move on to the next confirmation, which is now we're going to be looking at the higher time frames to try and determine which way price wants to go. So let's just, as an example, talk about, okay, we're gonna be talking about, let's take this. This is a perfect example, okay? When we see that price is coming down below one of our levels, okay, it's coming below, we can look at Market Cipher B on the 4-hour time frame. I like to start on the 4-hour and then go down to the 2-hour and then down to the 1-hour. And we're going to be asking ourselves, which way is price going right now? Which way does price look like it wants to go? Okay, as we're losing this level, we notice that we're also getting a money flow cross under on the 4-hour time frame. This is very significant because money flow is one of the most powerful indications on the Market Cipher indicator. This is showing us money coming into an asset or money leaving an asset. So if this money flow wave right here, this blue wave, and if you're unfamiliar with what the money flow is, I can turn off everything except the money flow. All right, we'll turn off the VWAP, we'll turn off our beloved waves, and now all we have left is the money flow. We can see it's going from blue to purple as we're coming to our support. Okay, this is a very strong indication that price is indeed going to lose that support and continue to come down. Then we go to the 2-hour time frame. What do we see on the 2-hour time frame as we're losing this level? As we're losing this level on the 2-hour time frame, Market Cipher B is also showing us bearish signals. It's also showing us bearish signals on the 2-hour time frame. As we're losing this support, we have just printed a red trigger wave. Okay, we've just printed a red trigger wave on Market Cipher B. And not only that, but we see a very clear downward direction on Market Cipher B where we're printing consecutively lower momentum waves. And we see now that as we're coming to our level, the momentum wave for the first time in 2 or 3 days is coming below the 0 line. And if this doesn't make sense to you guys, I highly recommend you check out JasonCasperTrading.com, because we do spend a lot of time on Market Cipher, actually 3 whole sessions on Market Cipher, talking about how to use this indicator, which is a great indicator. It is a very powerful tool. Okay, so we saw that price was coming to our level, right? We answered the question, which is price at one of my levels? We answered A, YOP, okay? Then we look at the higher time frames and we ask ourselves this question, which is question number 2. Which way does price want to go? Question mark. And then we have multiple choice. A, up, okay? Or B, down. Up or down. So question number 1, YOP or NOP. Question number 2, up or down, okay? And when we're looking at our higher time frames here, right? The 2-hour, the 4-hour, the 2-hour, and we can even go to the 1 hour and see as we are coming down to this level, right? On the 1 hour, we just so clearly see this downward direction here, right? We just so clearly see the downward direction. In fact, we even put in a bearish divergence on the 1 hour where price was making higher highs, momentum was making lower highs, okay, and money flow was coming down as price was going up. This is a sign to us that we are going to come down more, okay? So the higher time frames, what I consider the medium time frames, okay, the 4-hour, the 2-hour, and the 1 hour, price looks like it wants to go down. So is price at one of our levels? Yes. Which way does it want to go? Down, okay? Then we can, if we want to, go to the lower time frames just to get some more confirmation. Like if we wanted to go to maybe, we could do a vertical line here and go down to maybe the 6-minute time frame to see what we can see on the 6-minute time frame. I'll have to go back in time to there. See what we can see on the 6-minute time frame. We want to make sure we're not seeing any kind of bullish divergences on the lower time frames, right? We don't want to see bullish divergences. And we can see on the 6-minute time frame, we do not see any bullish divergence at all. Momentum is coming down as price is coming down. We can go to the 3-minute time frame. We'll zoom out and we'll come to that place and see also on the 3-minute time frame, we are not getting the bullish divergence, right? Not at all. As we're coming to our level, if we're going to get a bounce, we know, well, not everyone knows, but those who are familiar with my channel know, if we were going to get a bounce here, we would see the bullish divergence, but we don't. We don't see that. This is telling us we're going to come lower. So we know we can short this level, even though it's a support, and even though it's the middle of the move, we can still short this in the middle of the move, okay? And so there's a few different ways now. These are our first two confirmations. Now we come to our third confirmation, which is a retest or a trend confirmation. Okay, this is a little bit more subjective, but we need to ask ourselves the question, do I see those things? Well, I like to say, do I see them things? Do I see them things? Let me see them things, all right? That whenever I meet somebody new, I say, hey, let me see them things. Usually that's the end of the relationship, okay? But, because it creeps people out, you know? You meet a guy, meet a cool guy. Hey, man, what's going on? My name's Jason. He's like, hey, what's going on, Jason? You seem like a cool guy. I'm like, hey, let me see them things. Never talks to me again. Okay? So, when I say retest or trend confirmation, here's what I want to see. Here's what I want to see. This is a perfect example of a retest. Okay, right here. This is also another perfect example of a retest. A retest is when we lose a level and then we try to reclaim it and we're unable. And we try to reclaim it and we're unable. Okay? So if you see that we have lost a level and it used to be support and we lose the level and then price tries to come above it and it gets rejected, this is now confirmation that what used to be support is now resistance. And so the safest entries in the world are going to be when we get our first two confirmations. Price comes to our level. Yop. Okay. Which way does price want to go? We determine the direction price wants to go on the higher time frames. The safest, lowest risk entries, you are going to wait for price after it loses the level to come up and try and come above the level and get rejected. And then you would enter your position like this, okay, when we get rejected, and you would put your stop loss above. It's tough, right? You want to put it above the last swing high. And for this right here, I would say that our last notable high was this right up here, okay? This right here was our last place where we could clearly see price was putting in some kind of a high, right? Because we have a high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low. And so when we get the rejection and we put in this lower high right here, and we're catching that rejection, we would want to put our stop loss above the previous lower high, okay? That's how I would want to do this. And so, you know, we are getting that's a 1% stop loss, okay? That means if you're risking, let's say you're going to risk, I don't recommend risking more than 1% of your account, okay? I don't recommend risking more than 1% of your account. So you can put your entire account on this trade, and now we're going to talk about take profit levels later. But this is how we're going to get our entry right here. Okay, this is how we're going to get our entry on the way down. Let's take a look at another trade that I took when we lost this point of control. Now this was a little bit different. Okay, this trade was a little bit different because. And this was a good trade too. This was a good trade. This was a trade that we took, and it was about almost a 5% move right there. That short was almost a 5% move. If you got some leverage, some 5x, some 10x, that's a 50% move. That's a really good trade right there. So this one we did not get a retest, but what we did get was a trend confirmation. Okay, so let's put a vertical line here and go through our confirmations again so that we can find our entry. Hang on one second, guys. Hang on one second. All right, sorry about that. So we have a vertical line here. We're going to go through our confirmations. Confirmation number one, is price coming to one of our levels, YOP or NOP? The answer is YOP, Okay, now let's go to the 4-hour time frame. And let's take a look-see gander over here. Okay, we're taking a look-see gander, and we're going to say, okay, price is coming to our levels. What is the 4-hour time frame looking like? As we are coming down to this level, what is the 4-hour looking like? Well, it's a little inconclusive, right? If we were to go back in time to this point, we would say it looks like the 4-hour, it was going to print a bottom, but now we can see it's starting to come down more. The VWAP is starting to come down more. It's looking like we might come down more, okay? But at the same time, it looks like it could print a bottom sometime soon. A little inconclusive. Let's go to the 2-hour. What do we see on the 2-hour? As we are coming to our level, okay, this is very important. As we are literally coming to the level, what are we doing? We are, as we're touching the level on the 2-hour, we're getting a red dot below the 0 line. And we're getting a money flow crossover. Okay, we're getting a red dot and a money flow crossing from the blue into the purple. Okay, so we can tell on the 2-hour we're coming down more. The 1-hour, what is happening on the 1-hour? Again, as we're touching the level, we are printing a red dot. As we're touching the level right here, okay, this candle, we are also printing a red dot. Very significant. Everything on the higher time frames is telling us we're coming down, okay? Now remember, we're not catching a bounce here. We've been in this downtrend for quite some time, right? We've been in the downtrend since all the way up here. We could have entered right here on the way down, or we could have entered right here on the way down. And the reason why these are the two places where you look to enter is because these are levels of support and resistance that we marked out on our chart. So now we're going to go to the lower time frames, and we're going to look to see, do I see a retest or a trend confirmation? We're going to ask the question, do I see them thangs? A, yop, okay, B, nop. Yop and nop. Yom and nop. Okay, yop and nop. And so we go down to the 6 minute. And what do we see? What do we see as we're losing our point of control? Where is it? Right here. Well, we see something very significant in my mind, which is this. You know, we drop down, we try to come up again, and we don't even get close to the level. And we get one of these wicks, okay? We get one of these big old wicks up here. This big old wick right here is telling us that there's just no steam. There's no steam to come up. Okay, there's absolutely no steam to keep coming up. And as we're getting this wick, you can see that it's like, first of all, as we're coming down on the lower time frames, it's important to look to see, do we see any divergences? And the answer is, you know, as we're coming down here, we don't really see divergences. You could say that we have a hidden divergence over here. That's true. But remember, the higher time frames are telling us we are coming down. And right here, in the not hidden divergences, we are coming straight down. Money flow is getting thick, okay? And so we are now looking for either a retest or trend confirmation. The fact that we come down, we put the lower high, okay, with a clear wick like that, means, all right, it's time to enter. Because we lost the level, we put the lower high with the wick, and we come down lower. So in this case, our entry would be like right here as we're getting the wick, okay? And then I like to put my stop loss above the actual level, and then you come down. Now, I said we're going to be talking about entries, exits, and take profits, okay? So let's talk about take profits, okay? We talked about the entry. Let's talk about the take profits and the exit. The stop loss is always going to be above either the last local high, okay? So you could have done this, but I would recommend putting it above that level, above the level we lost. Personally, I would put it here just because this was acting as our support. We fell through that level like crazy. And so, you know, we know now this is our resistance because the support lost becomes resistance. I would put the stop loss up there. What are we going to do about our take profits? Well, here's how we're going to set our take profit levels, okay? I like to go back in time, and I like to look at the chart, and I like to find places where price historically has found sticking points, okay? Sticking points. And that's where I set my take profits. And just going to, let's say, the 1 hour time frame, right? We can go to the last time price was trading in this general area, right? And we can see that really, from our entry, there really is no support or resistance until we come down to right here, 36,137. So this would be our first take profit level. What I do is I will take 30% out of my trade, okay, or more, but usually 30% out of the trade, and then I will move the stop loss to the entry. Okay, what this does is it guarantees a winning trade for us. It guarantees a small gain, and so now we're either going to be in profit or we're going to be in more profit, okay? So I've taken 30% out of my trade right here. I still have 70% left in the position, and now we're going to look for our next take profit level. Well, coming back over here, I would say that we can see a pretty clear level of support and resistance right around here, okay? Right around here. So you could say, okay, we will take another maybe 20% out of our trade when we get down to here. Okay, so now we have 50% of the trade in profit. Our stop loss is still at a place where if we get stopped out, we're still in a win. And then we would set our next take profit down at our next support line, the value area low, right? And, you know, if that's as far as you want to take the trade to the value area low, because honestly, that's where I did take this short too. Okay, I took the short down to here, and that's where I entered a long position. When we got this bounce, I entered the long. Basically, well, here's the thing. I stayed in the short. My short got stopped out in profit once we got back up into here. My short got stopped out into profit here. But that's neither here nor there. The point is that's how you're going to manage the open trade. You're going to take some profit out right away, move that stop loss to the entry, then take profits out along the way down. Okay? That's how you're going to plan out your trades. This will allow you to lock in profits early, and you might think to yourself, oh, I'm missing out on gains. Yeah, you're missing out on potential gains, but you're mitigating your risk. If you can lock in profit right away, then you are ahead of most traders, because here's the thing, most traders lose money doing this, and greed is one of those emotions that will cause you to lose money. You need to be happy with making small, consistent gains. Here's the thing, if you take 30% out of your trade and get stopped out, and that happens, let's say, 4 times, right? 4 times you make these tiny little gains, and you're like, dang it, I should have just done something differently. I should have taken the whole trade out, or something. Eventually, you're going to, that fifth trade, right? That fifth trade, that's going to be one of those trades where you take out, let's say you shorted right here, you took out 30% right here, and you got this massive move down, right? And so you're going to be making small gains, break evens, and large gains. That's, in my opinion, the name of the game, because mitigating your risk and preserving your capital is the most important thing, right? The number one way to make money is by not losing money. And if you are not losing money, and if you are able to lock in the profits, then you are going to be ahead of most people, okay? Because not losing money is the only way you will be able to preserve your capital, and your capital is the only means by which you have to continue doing this. If you lose all your capital, you will not be able to trade, okay? So that's it, guys. That's catching the trend. This is how we're going to do it. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. We do technical analysis updates, I don't know, 5 or 6 days a week at least. As well as I do have this Discord, patreon.com/Jason Casper if you want to get access to the Discord. We have JasonCasperTrading.com. This is the trading course. Great for new traders. This will really get you off on the right foot. Discount in the description. Also, guys, if you do not have Market Cipher and you would like Market Cipher, there's a 5% discount code in the description of the video. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. All right, guys. God bless, and I'll see y'all in the next video.